Well, welcome to the seventh race of the 11th season of Sunday League in UR2D. I'm Gay Mongoose, joined today by Het Menica in the booth.
Hello.
Checking out Nandy right now, LSA sitting in third place in the constructors' standings. They are quite a ways back of the leaders, Mayhem Racing. 246 points Mayhem has, led by Danny and Buddha. But Nuno leads the constructors, or the drivers, by a margin of 30 points over Danimator and Buddha, who sit 2-3. Hanandi is in fourth place. Let's see how the first laps go. Nuno's by and pole for now. His provisional pole, he only has one of them so far this year. Nobody has more than one pole this season. Nuno's got it by just 300 over Buddha for now. Any favorites in your books this week, Het? Who are you liking?
I haven't really followed the battle at the top. I only know that Suist said that he enjoys this track a lot, which I think that sentiment isn't shared by a lot of people. I think Nuno, Antti, a lot of those big guys didn't really like this track at the first few times, so that's good for him, I guess. But I don't know. I haven't really followed the top.
Yeah, there's not a lot of lovers of this track. This is our, of course, second Danimator track in a row, having gone last week in Central Park, where on the opposite side of the globe, on the southern hemisphere, in Brazil, Circuito de Cristais, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Grandi comes across in sixth, and Nandy grabs the pole with a 31.3. Beats Nuno by half a tenth. Buddha's right there behind him, sticking that first lap time with Nuno in third place, and it's going to be a double Mayhem second row with Danimator in fourth. Corvid qualifying in fifth for Fox and Goose Racing after Jaruni's FGR podium last week. That's a really good start for FGR. Again, Grandi, sixth position for Nordic Thunder. Sobel, a good quality comparatively to the rest of his results this season, in seventh, the 31.63. And then we have both British aerials. I Stole These Words coming in to replace Jake after we saw him have to bow out for the rest of the season, and Panushas in ninth. Nomskar rounding out the top 10 for Flow Force. Not as much practice this week as he would have liked. Kraft with an excellent qualifying for Lynx, his new full-time seat, and home 31.88 in 11th. Cato in 12th for Rapid Motorsport Collective. Jaruni down in 13th, a fall from his grace of the podium last week. He'll have to work hard to get it back. And Cubo down around 14th. He'd definitely like to be a little bit higher than that. Urison 15th, sharing the same sentiment. An emergency reserve, Mark Andres in for the anti-amazing. And after a red-flagged race after 31 laps, we are restarting a 24-lap sprint here at Circuito de Cristais. I'm here with Het Menica. It's Gay Mongoose. Back in the booth, and Nandy leads to Nuno, to Buddha, to Danimator, and Grandi. Corvid rounding out the top six, and there's a big crash. Of course there's a big crash at the hairpin. Sobel getting the better of it, Urus getting pushed down, Gwetzley also losing a few positions with I Stole These Words. Buddha and Danimator shuffled down into fourth and fifth right now. It's Nuno and Nandy for the lead. Nuno's got the lead right now. Corvid taking the slipstream pass on Danimator.
On the straight.
And it looks like, it was the SCPs, Jaruni and Andres in around there. Kubo may have caught a bit of it as well.
What happened is Gwetzny and Urist, they just lag rocketed throughout the straight, so they didn't really get into the sand, they just profited from it, so that's pretty cool.
A little bit of a boost there, maybe going for a fast lap. It looks like Mart Andrews is sitting with the fast lap to start. He must have been in on that rocket as well. Nuno leading Buddha a little bit further back. It's Corvid looking for an FGR podium again, just like his teammate Jaruni did in Central Park. He's double passed by Danimator and Grandi though. Nandy has slipped back after leading early, and there's a penalty taken from Danimator as he gets kind of pushed off the track a bit. Grandy's into the sand. Oh, it's real sloppy up front. Nuno and Buddha are just pulling away, but the rest of the drivers are really having a tough time keeping it on. Corvid pushes through. Nomskar is really doing good compared to the red flag race. Kubo pushes Sobel off, and it looks like there's about 5 wide going in that first turn almost. Nomskar takes a penalty. There's another lag rocket. It's just insanity in this middle field. Oh my god, Suosic's punched his way up into 8th place. Grandy's off in the grass again. Pamushis takes a penalty, but seems to lag rocket through it and gets a boost anyway. And he's fighting with Jiruni now for 10th spot. Grandy leading the pack. Jiruni takes him a little bit off the corner, and Grandy touches sand again for about the 10th time in 4 laps. Danimator passing Corvid for 3rd. No, can't get it quite kept onto, but he goes over a switchback, and he almost does it. But it's Corvid sitting in 3rd place right now. Oh no, pass on the inside. There goes Danimator, and we've got the MAYs in a 2-3, and here they go. Makes a mistake, does Danimator. Corvid's into 3rd. And Andy, then Jiruni. The FGR is having a great showing so far in 3rd and 6th. Kubo right behind him as well for 7th. The FLF driver's got to be very happy with that as he returns to a good standing after the red flagged race. He was in a good spot as well. Kato was in dead last at one point before the restart. He's now just behind Suosid, who's having another banger of a start here for the SCPs. Unfortunately, Guetzli not having as good of a time as he's down in 14th. I got to catch my breath here. What do you see around the track that we haven't seen yet?
I am seeing that I am actually a very happy boss of SCP at the moment because they've had a great start, Suist especially. Guetzli got knocked around a little bit. I've specifically been watching them as, of course, I am their boss. But they're having great stuff from them. Guetzli still making up places to this very moment.
Yeah, Suo's just losing out on 8th place to Sobel, but still sitting in a top 10. Pamushi's right behind him. He's in good company right now, and he's keeping pace well with the best. Some of these big veterans. Suosid, a veteran himself at this point, but battling with Sobel and Pamushis, incredible stuff. Urist making a little bit back from his unfortunate restart. He was another driver who was in P6, one of the best races of the season for the LYR team captain. Himself and Kraft in 10th and 12th right now. Not horrible for LYR, but they were in a little bit of better position. Danimator, who's just pitted onto fresh softs, is going to have to battle his way through some traffic. Buddha leads the race momentarily as he's still on his hards, and Corvid stretching out his mediums as well. Kubo and Jiruni side by side into the pits. It looks like Corvid is taking Buddha's slipstream to extend the length of his medium stint. And I gotta say, Nuno's gonna have to be catching them at a very rapid pace right now. Wetzley now in 8th place, battling, using slipstreams to keep his hards in range. He's gonna have to give way to Grandy soon as Nandy battles Urist. Looking right behind him, he's touching him. Urist does let him go as he's on the worn out tires. Corvid's now into the pits, and Buddha's taking one more lap on those hards. 10 laps on the hards is the baseline, the minimum that it shows on the recommendations. However, you can easily stretch it longer, and Buddha's got clean air, so why not? If he's not battling anyone else, Nuno's got 3 seconds to go. He will pass at next pit, but he has a 2-second buffer on Danimator, who is your net 2nd place driver. Corvid makes a mistake, sitting in 4th place still.
Oh, big lag rocket. Jiruni and Guetzli gets knocked back about 2 positions, and Guetzli gets off relatively well. But that was a big lag rocket between the FGR and the SCP.
Just hanging on to that 10th position is Guetzli on the very worn out hards. He's going to be put back in his place as he will have to pit. However, we have another lag rocket situation going on here. Kato does a little bit of it with Urist, gets onto the grass again, or the sand, I should say. I can't believe Kato's luck. Every time I seem to look at him, he's off the track. Kubo slipstreaming him. Kato defending, doing a little bit of weaving. Is he able to take the cut? Okay, yeah, it looks like he's got it. He's going to have to give way now, because Kubo's going for a pass around the outside of Urist, not able to get it done, and Jiruni's going to slide by almost both of them. Kubo's really going to suffer, and Urist is pushed right off the track. Urist loses 5 positions there from an attack. That could be an aggressive pass. I think Sobel was the aggressor on that one, but man, there's not much room to breathe in any section of this course. Kato moving hard, and he still defends to Nomskar, and Nomskar pulls way out. Sobel catches sand. They are just all over each other up at the front. Nuno is having this gap closed by Buda, who's still on those worn out hard, so I should say he's starting to just gain away from Buda, as I suspected Buda to be in. Nuno's going in for his second set of tires by the time Buda's going in for his third set of tires. Danimator leading for the meantime on the worn out softs. It looks like typical company in the top 5, but Sobel now into that mix as he brings 3 other drivers with them. Kato, Nomskar, and Jiruni, who's going for a pass. Gets it done on Nomskar, can't hold it. Kato's off the track again, into the sand. Nomskar into the sand, and Nandy's going to be able to get by him. Oh my goodness, we've got a big Sobelli train forming here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers nearly in part of this Sobelli train. You'll love to see it. And you love to see Sobelli ahead of so many drivers.
How improved Kato is since last time. Of course, last time dwelling around in last, the 16th, now in 8th. So that's a big improvement from the red flag race for Kato.
No driver short of difficulties, of course, but yes, the biggest improvement coming from the RMC driver. It was, of course, the Nuno Kato sandwich at one point, 1st and 18th running. But look at our leader now. Due to, of course, some pit stop issues, it's Corvid, the FGR driver, taking a share of laps led with his teammate Jiruni last race. These guys must love the Danimator tracks. They're both doing very great on them. Jiruni's still in 6th as well for FGR. All the drivers behind Corvid on fresh tires all the way down to Jiruni. So the FGR is on the worn out tires, and Nandy is looking to gain some ground. It's going to be Danimator and Buda catching Corvid just after Nuno, but Sobel needs to come in for a change as well. Jiruni is in. He's on the mediums. I stole these words past him. Kraft and Suwasid passed him. Suwasid will have to pit for hards as well, but he is back into the top 10. Still giving a really good showing for SCP. Kamusha sitting well in 7th. He was having a horrible race as well, also sharing a portion of the last position before the red flag. Redemption for some of the stronger drivers, and a little bit of disappointment for some of the typically weaker drivers that were having great races. We do have some of the more standard company in the top right now. Corvid onto fresh sauce, comes out in 5th spot. So he's going to be pushing hard on the back of Nandy, who already has quarter-worn tires. And
we are going to have the rain.
Does not come back. He got screwed by the rain in the first race.
That is amazing for Gwetsley, flying high in 6th with worn hards.
For Gwetsley?
Suist, sorry, wrong SCP.
For Suwasid, yes, that's it, yes. He has a great turn of events there. Suwasid is going to be in 6th position. Incredible luck for him. Corvid gets the other end of the stick there. He's out onto his wets in 5th place, and he's going to have to work a lot to get that time back, chasing down Nandy. So, it is our leaders of the season standings, Nuno, then Buda, then Danimator. They are in a slightly different order of that in the standings. Danimator's ahead of Buda in the drivers. But then we have Nandy, who is in 4th in the driver's standings. And then Nomskar is in 5th in the driver's standings, but Corvid holds the position. Nomskar has been pushed down to 10th spot. He must have had a pit error as well, or a pit complication on the rain, because I think he was driving a lot higher up in the order there. As Jiruni goes for a little bit of a dive bomb. So I stole these words, not able to get it done. I stole these words off into the gravel, makes a mistake, and all 3 drivers get by him. Just like that, he's down into 10th spot. Suwasid, incredibly, 4 and 3 seconds either side of a driver in 6th spot. He's got to be loving life right now as Danimator slipstreams his teammate Buda. Can they work together to catch Nuno, or will they get stuck battling each other?
Also, not very good stuff from Pimu and Guetzli. Both of those being the only drivers that haven't gone to the wets. They must be leaving. They must be losing a lot of time, especially Guetzli. I don't know how he is last year. Martin
He's
must not be
changed.
doing well.
He never changed on to wets at all or inters then. He's been on the mediums this whole time. That's a big mistake from Guetzli. That'll toss his race away, unfortunately. Pamushis loves to risk those inters, and they have been improved as of recent, but it didn't work this time, and he's going to catch a little bit of gravel there too. Kubo and Grandy in 16th position. I can't believe it. Grandy having a really tough race as far as luck goes as well here. The NTH is running 16 and 17 as Andrews is in for the anti-amazing, of course. Buddha, Danimator, still running 2-3. Not quite catching Nuno, but they have closed the gap a little bit. Just over 2 seconds to go to the Portuguese 4-time champion. Nandy still running in 4th, Corvid in 5th, Suwasid in 6th. The track is starting to dry. Nausgaard and Jiruni battle each other, and look at this. We have emerging back into the top 10, the Lynx Racings. Jurist and Kraft are back into the top 10. It's amazing to see them doing so well 2 races in a row. The restart really hurt Jurist specifically. He was in P6 or P7 at the time of the crash. So they'll be really quite pleased to bridge that gap. The track should be dry in 2 laps time. You'll see them coming in 2 laps. Oh, that's the race. It's a sprint, and it's over. They ended on the wet tires. Nuno is the victor. My God, it's a quick race when it's a sprint. Suwasid coming in for an incredible P6, a career best for Suwasid, and he's doing donuts in the straightaway. Jiruni in 7th. Oh, and there he goes. There's no stopping the Suwasid donuts. What a GOAT move from the SCP driver. He nailed the range strategy, and there are celebrations afoot in the Scuderia Pericaro garage tonight, you best believe it. What a brilliant drive from the veteran Suwasid. And what an end to that race.
You beauty! Someone's getting a raise.
Celebrating.
Someone's getting a raise.
Andrews brings it home ahead of Guetzli. And there we have it, folks. With relative ease, it's Nuno taking the win for Rapid Motorsport Collective. 2.88 seconds ahead of the fastest lap taker for the day. It's Danimator in 2nd. Buddha in 3rd to Hernandez 4th. Your top 4 drivers in the driver's standings stay just as they were into the results screen. Corvid takes a 5th for Fox and Goose. That is a personal best for him. Suwasid also with a personal best. It's a 6th place position. Incredible, and this will go down in SCP Garage history for sure. Jiruni taking 7th, another good showing for FGR, and Nomskar in 8th for Flowforce. Without much practice, that's not a bad finish given the competition at hand. Kraft and Jurist rounding out the top 10 for Lynx Racing, and I think we might have another personal best on our hands with that finish by Kraft. Kato, redemption after being in last place in the restarted race. 11th place overall, not bad for RMC, but he'd like to be much higher than that. Sobel taking 12th. I stole these words. Edging out his new teammate Pamushis, or rather I should say Pamushis' new teammate edges him out. 13th and 14th for the BARs. Not what they'd like to see, and probably, most guaranteeably, the worst ever finish for the NTH drivers without their brilliant fearless leader, anti-amazing Grandy and Andrews go 15th and 17th for Nordic Thunder. Kubo in the Viking sandwich in 16th. And Guetzli with the tire misread ends up in last. What an incredible way to finish that sprint, and everybody cheering as a champion of Suwasid. For Hetmanica and Skip, who couldn't make it, I'm Goose. We'll see y'all next week.